What if I told you that one of the most talked about moments in sports this week had nothing to do with a final score? No trophy. No championship. Just two Filipinos standing in a basketball arena in Miami, and somehow the entire internet stopped breathing. That's where this story begins. But trust me, that's not even close to where it ends. Alex is 20 years old. She's from Quezon City, Philippines. And right now, she might be the most electric athlete on the planet that half the world still hasn't discovered. Keyword, still. Because after what happened this past week, that's about to change forever. So let's go back. Not to last week, not to last year. Let's go all the way back to the moment this whole thing really started, because that context is everything. Alex was 13 years old when she left the Philippines. Think about that for a second. 13. Most kids at that age are worried about homework and what to wear to school. Alex was packing her bags for Mallorca, Spain, leaving behind her family, her language, her streets, her entire world, to train at the Rafa Nadal Academy. One of the most elite tennis programs on earth. The same place that shaped some of the best players in the modern game. And she didn't go there as some heavily funded national project. She went because she was just that good. Now here's something you need to understand about the Philippines and tennis. Tennis was not a thing there. Basketball? Absolute religion. Boxing? They gave the world Manny Pacquiao. But tennis was background noise. It was what people had on TV when nothing else was airing. So a 13-year-old girl leaving everything she knew to chase a dream in a sport her country had basically never competed in at the highest level? That wasn't just brave. That was borderline crazy. And she made it look easy. By the time she was 16, Alex had risen to world number 2 in the junior rankings. Then she did something nobody from her country had ever done. She won a junior Grand Slam. The 2022 US Open Junior title, lifted right there in New York, and then she walked to the microphone and addressed the crowd in Tagalog. Her language. Her people's language. On one of the biggest stages in all of tennis. That speech went everywhere. Every platform, every timeline, every Filipino household that had a phone or a laptop. At 16, she was on the cover of Vogue Philippines. At 16. But here's the thing about junior glory that nobody really talks about. It means almost nothing once you turn professional. The ITF circuit is brutal. The qualifying rounds are relentless. The grind of building a professional ranking is a completely different animal from anything juniors prepare you for. And 2023 was hard for Alex. 2024 was harder. And then Miami 2025 happened. And that's when the world found out who Alex really was. She walked into that tournament ranked 140th in the world on a wild card, which basically means nobody expected her to win a single match. And she went on an absolute rampage. She knocked out Grand Slam champion Jelena Ostapenko. Then she stunned Madison Keys, who had just won the Australian Open that same year. And then, the match that made the entire tennis world sit up straight, she beat world number 3 Iga Swiatek, the best player on the planet. Just casually. As if that was always the plan. She became the first Filipino woman ever to reach a WTA 1000 semifinal. And in the 12 months that followed, she climbed from 140th in the world all the way to 29th. That is not a rise. That is a launch. But before she could walk back onto that Miami court in 2026 and try to do it all over again, something happened that nobody saw coming. And this is the part that broke the internet. March 16, 2026. Miami, Florida. Hard Rock Stadium, but not the tennis venue. The basketball arena. The home of the Miami Heat. Alex walks in, and waiting for her is Erik Spoelstra. 3-time NBA champion head coach. Filipino-American. A man who has spent decades navigating what it means to carry Filipino heritage at the absolute top of professional sports. These two had actually met before, back in 2023, when a teenage Alex attended a Heat game while she was still ranked outside the top 150. That night also happened to be the night Spoelstra recorded his 700th career coaching win. Two Filipinos at completely different stages of greatness, sharing a room by coincidence. But now it's 2026. Alex is ranked 29th in the world. She's not a prospect anymore. She's a player. And when they reunited, the Miami Heat captured the whole thing and posted a tribute video across all their platforms with one caption: just two powerhouses repping the Philippines at the highest level. That's an NBA franchise worth billions, with tens of millions of followers, taking time out of their schedule to build a full tribute video for a tennis player. Not because they had to. Not because anyone asked. But because they recognized something in Alex that went beyond rankings and statistics. They saw representation. They saw what it looks like when someone from a community that doesn't often get centered in global sports does something genuinely extraordinary. And the comments? Absolutely flooded. Fans writing things like, when two well-loved Filipino icons in sports finally meet, there is nothing better than this. Now here's a question. How do you follow up a moment like that? How do you top that in the same week? Alex found a way. She made her TikTok debut. Now before you skip past that, hear me out, because this wasn't just an athlete joining a social media app. For her fanbase, this was a cultural event. She posted a clip of herself practicing, captioned it, "This is me hard launching my TikTok account. Welcome," with an angel face emoji. Her bio read, "Things I do, fits I wear, places I go." Simple. Confident. Completely her. The WTA's official account jumped in the comments immediately. Spotify Philippines welcomed her to the platform. And fans who had been watching her grow up in front of their eyes for years poured into her page like they had been waiting for this moment specifically. She now has nearly 1 million followers on Instagram, which is more than double what higher-ranked players like Madison Keys and Amanda Anisimova have. A day-in-the-life video she did for the BNP Paribas Open during Indian Wells became the most viewed content the entire tournament produced in 2026. Not the most viewed tennis content. The most viewed content, full stop. And this is what makes Alex different from almost any athlete in her sport right now. She isn't just a tennis player. She is a movement. She carries an entire nation's sporting identity on her back, and somehow she makes it look effortless. She once said something about fame back home that I haven't been able to stop thinking about. She said it's weird because being at home is the most normal thing, but then all of a sudden people in the same restaurants she's gone to since childhood are asking for photos. And then she said something else. She said she's happy that Filipinos are being exposed to tennis because it gives everyone a way to bond and show pride in their culture, and that she hasn't seen that shared sense of pride in many other communities, and that's what makes them special. A 20-year-old said that. Under the pressure of being the first at everything she does. That is not just an athlete speaking. That is a leader. And then March 19th arrived. Hard Rock Stadium, Miami Open, round of 64. Alex steps onto the court and across the net is Laura Siegemund, Germany, 38 years old, a seasoned veteran who has been competing at the professional level longer than some of her opponents have been interested in tennis. Siegemund is the kind of player who makes you earn every single point. And she did exactly that. 3 hours and 20 minutes. That is how long this match lasted. The longest match of Alex's professional career, played in the Florida Heat, against someone nearly twice her age who had absolutely no intention of making it easy. Alex came flying out of the gate, 3-0 up, looking unstoppable. And then Siegemund did what veterans do. She slowed it down. Found her footing. Leveled the set at 3-all. The first set went to a tiebreak and Alex lost it. And here is where you have to understand what was actually at stake. The 390 ranking points she earned from last year's run expire the moment this year's tournament begins. That's how the WTA's rolling ranking system works. So she walked into Miami ranked 29th, and the moment play started, she temporarily dropped to 50th in live rankings. Every win builds those points back. Every loss collapses them. If she had lost that first round match, she was looking at potentially falling outside the top 50. So losing that first set wasn't just a setback. It was a warning. But Alex is not the kind of player who reads warnings and turns back. She's the kind who walks straight through them. She broke Siegemund in the second set. Broke her again in the third. Controlled the tempo, managed her emotions, and closed it out. After 3 hours and 20 minutes on court, she walked into the press room and said, "I came out fresh as a flower." Fresh as a flower. After the longest and most physically punishing match of her career. If that line doesn't tell you everything you need to know about this young woman, then honestly nothing will. So here is where everything stands. Waiting in the next round is Magda Linette, a player who just eliminated IGA Swiatek, the same Swiatek that Alex famously beat in this very tournament last year. The bracket is stacked. The pressure is enormous. The points on the line are career-defining. But Alex going into this round is not the same Alex that shocked everyone as a 140th ranked wild card 12 months ago. Her serve has better placement. Her rallying has more patience. Her shot selection has more discipline. The surprise factor is gone. Every player on tour has studied her game. They know the lefty serve, they know the backhand down the line, they know the patterns. What they cannot study, what cannot be prepared for, is belief. The kind of belief that only comes from having already done the impossible once and knowing exactly how it felt. This story is not finished. Not even close. A 20-year-old from Quezon City who left home at 13, who spoke Tagalog on the biggest junior stage in tennis, who just reunited with an NBA legend in a basketball arena and then won a 3-hour war on a tennis court and came out smiling. She is nowhere near the end of what she is capable of. The question now is simple. How far does Alex go at the 2026 Miami Open? Drop your answer in the comments right now, because if you've been watching what I've been watching, you already know that whatever you predict, she's probably going to exceed it. And if this story hit you the way it hit me, subscribe, because we cover every chapter of women's tennis, and this chapter in particular, we are not done telling yet.